Iron Man 3. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Low-Rez Moon here, and welcome to the show called Reviews in the Morning, where I shall be reviewing films I've watched last night and reviewing them the following day. Sorry if I'm not exactly properly attired for this, but this is how I am in the morning. But let's get down to the review. Iron Man 3. Is it worth your time and money? Yes, it is. However, I do have to warn you, by the end it leaves a bittersweet taste in your mouth. What do I mean by that? Well, the setting in Iron Man 3 takes place after the Avengers. Tony Stark is going through what some might call post-traumatic stress disorder based on what happened in the Avengers. For you guys who've watched the Avengers, you know what I'm talking about. He's suffering through anxiety attacks, he is not sleeping properly, and all he is doing is making suit after suit after suit after suit. However, this does make for a much more compelling and much more conflicted Tony Stark, in that he is trying to return back to his normal life and he simply can't. This is much better than the previous plot, adding some more human emotion to the character. I like it. But let me talk about the characters now pretty quick. Well, Robert Downey Jr. returns once again as Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, and he does a really good job. As always, he does a good job, especially at one point when his suit fails and he has to rely more on his wit than his technology. It becomes very impressive how far Tony Stark is willing to go in order to achieve his goal. Returning once again as her role as Pepper is Gwyneth Paltrow, who this time, she is not so much of a sideline character. Now what do I mean by that? I mean that this time around she takes a much more active role in Tony Stark's own conflict and in the major plot. If you guys watch the movie, you know what I mean. An actual physical contact. Also returning to his role as War Machine, or in this case as he is introduced as the Iron Patriot, is Don Cheadle, who plays Colonel James Rhodes. Unfortunately, this time he doesn't have so much of an impact as he did in the previous film, but his usefulness in the plot is noted, despite being very diminished. And as for the newcomers in the film, we have Guy Pearce, who plays Aldrich Killian, we have Rebecca Hall, who plays Maya Henson, and then playing the role of the Mandarin, we have Ben Kingsley. And I just want to say one thing about the Mandarin character. I never was one to actually watch either the cartoon or read the comic books and all that stuff, but even then I was very disappointed in the character. He wasn't so much of an impact as he was made out to be. I'll just say that. The movie itself is worthwhile to watch. It is an action flick. There's action from beginning to end, whether it be Tony Stark's mansion being destroyed or the big battle at the end with all the Iron Man suit army against the bad guys. It's a great film. However, unfortunately, the epilogue of the film leaves something to be desired. I understand that this is Iron Man 3 and it's supposed to have like this finale to like the trilogy, but unfortunately, it still makes me want to, it's like, really? You're really just gonna do that? You know? What I can just tell you about it is that you wish that Tony Stark did not make the decisions that he did. Just saying, that's me. Even if the ending wasn't so great for me, I still think that, as always, waiting for the very last scene in a Marvel movie is worth noting. As in this one, it gives a teaser to a movie that has yet to be announced of a hero we have seen before. Let me just keep it at that. Otherwise, for the final verdict of this film, I give it a 3.5 out of 5. For great plot, great characters, and great action, but unfortunately at the end, leaving something to be desired. This was Reviews in the Morning. I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next time where I'll be reviewing The Great Gatsby. See you guys.